And as a result of us doing that, there's now also a secret ending for this, which I might show off. So, all right, let's look at him. Let's look at him. A frustrating foe that memorizes any attacks and can use and calculate how to avoid and counter them. Be sure to pack plenty of psychs and keep using ones he yet to encounter. Yeah, it's a hard fight. To guarantee a drop on easy, I need to be at level 9 at 95. To guarantee a drop. Although I'm pretty sure, you know, yeah, that won't matter. Alrighty. What am I all missing here? String together the biggest chain you can. Do 20 chain reactions fights. Collect reports on a variety of foe. Get 80% of the noise completion thing. Complete your wardrobe. Get all of the wardrobes. Max, get to level 100. Max out 300 pins. Get all the pins. I don't know what this is. What does it mean collect a pin set for the whole party? Does that? I think I might know what that means, but I'll show it when we get to the pins. Get all pins. Max out 300. Beat all the pig noises. I don't know how I haven't gotten this one yet. Jog a variety of people's memories. I basically did that. Finish the final time trial, which I thought was the rhymes thing, but I guess not. And then the platinum trophy. I think what they mean is, you see how I have this year-long assembly. Replenishes a large amount of team's HP relative to damage dealt, but only when all 4 pins are worn concurrently. I think that's what they mean, so I need to get a pin set like this for everyone. So I don't know what pins do that and how you can do that, but this is actually a good setup to beat him with. So yeah. Okay, let's read those secret reports, and then I'm gonna cut to the secret ending of this, and then I'll cut to the secret ending of the main game. 3 years have passed since the game that caught the attention of the higher plane. Observation is still ongoing, but from the UG, it looks as if Shibuya is on the brink of catastrophe once more. I am forbidden from interfering in the game this time, so I'll have to settle for recording the changing state of both the RG and UG here in this report. I wonder if these are written by Mr. H again, because he wrote them in the first game. The executor first intruded on Shibuya 3 years ago. Originally from Shinjuku, this angel started a clandestine game with Shibuya's composer, which ultimately led to Shinjuku's destruction. He should have been reprimanded as soon as he arrived in Shibuya, but the elites are turning a blind eye for some reason, possibly because most higher plane denizens still oppose Shibuya's impurification. This game resembles an impurification in that it is subjected to a set of extenuating circumstances, somehow keeping it in balance, which are as follows. 1. Difference of opinion and subsequent conflict on the subject of Shibuya's destruction. 2. The absence of the composer. 3. The game being played by 2 proxies. And 4. Direct interference by the executor. Neither the executor who wishes for Shibuya to be destroyed and purified, nor the composer who has managed to prevent this up until now can directly intervene in the goings-on of the UG. If they wish to take action, they must do so via proxy. The executor's proxy in this game is the conductor, Shiba Miyakaza, and the composer is a human player, one Rindo Kanan. Okay. Yeah, they're basically doing the same exact thing. Like, I think Joshua's his proxy, except it was proxy between I don't think they even had proxies. It was more so between the conductor and the composer. They had like a little deal going on. I will henceforth refer to the Shiba Miyazaki as the conductor and Rindo Kanabe as the proxy. Perhaps spurred by the appearance of the proxy, former Reaper Sho Minamoto has resumed activity after an extended period of silence. Furthermore, I'm picking up vibes similar to those emitted from Shinjuku just before its purification. They are still faint, but I will keep a close eye on them. With a proxy in place for the enacting composer, the game is affecting in numerous ways, the most significant being the implementation of bogus rules by the conductor. One such rule is the division of players into teams, presumably adopted from Shinjuku's rulebook. Under the team system, whichever team earns the most points over the course of the week may choose to either continue playing or not. If they choose not to continue, they may return to the RG if they so desire. However, only the composer can send players back to the RG. The conductor has no right to implement such a rule and no ability to carry it out. As such, it is the conductor's best interest for the winning team to choose to continue playing. To assume this will happen, he has aligned himself with the team clearly intent on continuing the game indefinitely, the Runebringers. Each team's relative value is measured against the others using their score, and a loss for the team is a loss for each individual within it. It's unclear when these rules are first implemented in Shinjuku, but what is clear is that they seem specifically designed to eliminate players, counter to the objective of the game. The new player has joined the Proxy's team. The inability of the composer and myself, the producer, to intervene puts Shibuya at a disadvantage. With this new recruit, Minamoto may help them turn the tides. The team's new member, one Nagi Usui, is at once open-minded and closed off. Interestingly, this makes her the perfect foil to Tosoya Furusawa. A healthy variety of personalities and abilities should benefit the team. Proxy has started using his powers in earnest. I can scarcely believe someone could have such a powerful latent ability. Latent powers are unique, naturally occurring abilities awakened by turning vibes. Those vibes originate from the higher plane and resonate with the soul of an individual, turning them into their dormant powers. Incidentally, these vibes are the same ones required for traveling between planes. It is highly unusual for multiple players with latent powers to appear in succession. I suspect the pins found in the RG have been embedded with turning vibes for the express purpose of seeking out such individuals. The more hands the pins make their way into, the greater the chance of finding promising new players. However, the Proxy's abilities is a significant deviation from standard latent powers. It is far too dangerous. If I could, I would have ensured it remained dormant for the sake of both the UG and the RG. It has the potential to not only warp, but demolish the lower plane's code. I wonder if the composer foresaw this and chose the Proxy because of it. Ooh, Mr. H, the producer. So what exactly is the purpose of the Reaper's game? Let's review. The explicit goal of the game is to locate exceptional individuals. Players of superior imagination are elevated to the higher plane and made into Reapers or Angels to aid in the oversight of their ranked region. The UG is located on a higher plane than the RG. It is understood to be the afterlife, as the soul is modulated and relocated to the UG upon the death of the body of the RG. However, the Proxy and his fellows were brought to UG unmodulated. They have already begun to suspect that something is amiss in respects to both themselves and the Runebringers. The Reapers should be fighting for their lives, same as the players, but Shibuya's internal Reaper hierarchy is at a total standstill. 3 years ago, Shibuya's acting composer and conductor carried out a game to determine Shibuya's fate. The events that unfold are now known as Shibuya's impurification. The hierarchical freeze presumably stems from opposition and impurification. I detect a new set of vibes in the UG at the end of the day. It seems these pins have awakened new powers within someone and modulated them for entering the UG just like the Proxy. This time it is someone the composer and I know quite well. Ooh. Oh! Beat! This is when Beat came in, because I think at the end of day 4, you know, you saw like Rindo was walking past Beat and he got like a phone call, and we all, you know, this was back when we thought he was Neku. And I think that's who he was talking about. A turf war called the Scramble Slum has just taken place. The Runebringers declined to participate. If they had, they surely would have won, leading to the decreasing in overall morale. I suspect this little diversion, which pits players against each other in place of noise, exists purely for the entertainment of the conductor. This week marks the 104th game under the current conductor. The Deep River Society, the Veribees, and Pure Hearts have all been subjected to at least 30 loops. Holy shit! How was not one of those teams erased? Were they just lucky enough that there was other teams that joined and they got erased? I mean, obviously with the Runebringers always win. You could always tell, like, okay, you could tell, like, obviously those guys have been there for a while, so they must have been there for a while. They are beginning to show signs of fatigue, presumably sensing the impossibility of victory against the Runebringers. perceiving the game as unwinnable has a marked negative effect on players' well-being. Proxy's team may be able to avoid coming in last place, but the odds of them toppling the Ruin Barriers and claim victory are slim. Although anything can happen in this game, they may surprise me yet. Minamoto has become aware of the Proxy's powers and seems to be plotting something. The Proxy's soul is beginning to change. Strangely, its evolution trends towards stagnation rather than development. It is almost as if the range of his vibes is shrinking. I believe this may be due to part to his readiness to adopt the options and value of others, mistakenly believing them to be his own. He seems to do this entirely unconsciously. He may never realize this happened. Under ordinary circumstances, players in Shibuya's game pay an entry fee upon arrival, though which the composer offers them a chance to re-examine themselves. This game has no entry fee. Yep, I never mentioned that before either, but it's like, yeah, there was no entry fee, no timer on the hand. The Shinjuku rules neither encourage nor allow for personal growth or change, making the game just that, a mere competition to collect points to prove one's worth. The Proxy's stagnant soul makes him the perfect user for his latent ability. For better or for worse, he is able to maintain abnormal high levels of imagination, thereby increasing the accuracy of each replay. The pieces fit together almost too perfectly. I can only hope I'm overthinking things. Ah, Mr. H, you never do. Deep River societies have been erased in accordance with the rules of the game. The souls of all members, including the leader, are gone. The erasure runs counter to the goal of judging each player's abilities, but is unsurprisingly considering the conductor's intentions. Upon witnessing the erasure, the Proxy's vibes have weakened once again. His increasingly hardened emotional state may be a cause for concern. As suspected, the individual who arrived in the Proxy's moments of need was the source of the vibes I detected a few days ago. It does not appear as if the composer had a hand in the sudden appearance of our old friend, in sharp contrast to the ever-active executor, the composer seemingly biding his time. Although I am unable to make contact to confirm, I believe the reappearance of this particular individual works in Shibuya's favor. Minamoto, on the other hand, has all but vanished from the Proxy's side. His noise refined signal drastically heightens his imagination, which may be why he can clearly recognize the Proxy's abilities. I have an idea of what he's playing. It's dangerous, but I have no way of stopping him. Incidentally, the noise refining signal is a reproduction copied from the original by a certain Reaper. Its completeness or lack thereof may be a factor in this subtle change in Minamoto's fundamental vibes. 4 teams remain: the Ruin Barriers, the Pure Hearts, the Veribues, and the Liquid Twisters. Only one may survive and emerge victorious. At long last, the game approaches a conclusion. According to Shinjuku's rules, incoming players' abilities must extend the total average imagination of the current players for them to be allowed into the game. As the game continues and low-ranking teams are eliminated, the average rises, making it more and more difficult for newcomers to enter. Okay, so that's why we never really had new teams or people. With the Deep River Society gone and the Wicked Twisters' impressive latent abilities, the average imagination has increased drastically. Only an immeasurably powerful player could be pulled in at this point, aka beat Neku. It can be safely assumed that the game will continue and conclude with no more than the current state of players. The game will continue into the week after next at longest, but the conductor has yet to contact the composer. It's possible he's unaware of the higher plane's purification protocol. If all goes according to the conductor's plan, he himself will be the victor of this game. Our new arrival has joined the Proxy's team, almost as if filling in the hole left by Minamoto. Daisoku Genojo Bito, also known as Beat, was a player in the game leading to Shibuya's impurification. His fortitude is remarkable, as is his soul and imagination. He should prove a powerful ally to the Proxy. And yet the Proxy's soul remains stagnant, or perhaps it would be more accurate to say it has stagnated further. I feel a similar shift 8 days ago when Minamoto joined the team. If this is the fundamental immaturity of the Proxy's soul, it will be difficult to bring to light, unlike Neku's leading up to the impurification. The Proxy's initiated another replay today. The resulting drastically increases in planar distortions indications that at this rate, an explosive increase is likely after only a few more uses. However, the Proxy's pin is effectively absorbing the distortions, preventing the UG and lower planes from being affected at this time. All the Reapers stationed in Shibuya, including the conductor, would ordinarily be referred to as the Shibuya Reapers, but ongoing conflict has caused those with Shinjuku to be called Shinjuku Reapers. Shinjuku's inversion 3 years ago jump-started its purification, forcing the Reapers there to flee Shibuya. An inversion happens when the boundary between the UG and the RG is destroyed, forcing a purification. It occurs, albeit incredibly rarely, when the composer and conductor fail to agree on the purification. The composer's permission is not required for a Reaper to continue working in a new area. Such transfers are left up to the conductor. In this case, Shibuya's temporary conductor at the time authorized the transfer of all Reapers from Shinjuku to Shibuya. Way to go, Uzumi! I detect no sign nor vibes of the Shinjuku conductor at present. I assume he was destroyed along with Shinjuku. Nope, I'm assuming that's Haas. Haas is the... Not the conductor. I think Haas is the composer of Shibuya. Once the purification has begun, it is standard for the conductor to be inverted up to the higher plane. There's almost no evidence of a mass personal transfer after the erasure of the conductor in the past. Almost. Upon reviewing the records, I managed to find 4 cases where the affected area had fallen into imbalance before its purification was described. One of those cases, Shibuya's impurification. The composer should file a report on the circumstances leading up to Shinjuku's purification. At some point, although I doubt he'll do a thorough job of it, considering his interest in the lower planes. While Shibuya's composer giving his tact approval of the Shinjuku Reapers, Shibuya's Reapers have no choice but to follow the rules given to them. Regardless of the true circumstances, Shiba Miyakaza has effectively become the conductor through legal means, as he was judged to be fit for the role. Restlessness builds among the team leaders, and the proxy's psychological state is far from optimal. Can only hope he will last a week. The team's base groove is abnormally low. In a system built around teamwork, such irregularities are certain to have a major effect on the outcome of the game. A network called the RNS was created specifically for this game. The ease with which it measures each individual's vibes and imagination makes it a useful tool for the management of both players and Reapers. However, making this information viewable also makes it accessible from the RG. It can only be found by those who know of the UG's existence and are significantly proficient with networks. No modulation is required to communicate between planes this way, though it is yet unclear if other issues arise as a result. It's possible that communicating through the networks could enable imagination, just as the full meaning and imagination of the work of art cannot be captured on screen. I'm no longer active as Cat, but if and when I resume, I must keep in mind how my works will be perceived when shared digitally, and alter my methods by expressing them accordingly. Perhaps the developer RNS could provide me with some insight of that regard. So, if you didn't know already, what I already said, yes, this is Mr. H, aka Cat, the guy from the first game, who was super awesome. There's been a change to the proxy's psychological state, as well as an improvement to relations between the members of his team. This is good news. However, the proxy's soul remains stagnant as ever. I have yet to fully analyze this stagnation, as I am currently unable to take any actions beyond observing and hoping for the best. By Shinjuku's rules, Reapers are limited in the actions they may take. Of course, obstructing players is not allowed on a base level. The primary enemies that players face are other players, namely those on opposing teams. Thus, any team aiming to aim for the top must go through the Ruin Beams. Roxy and his teams are taking on a different approach against the seemingly unbeatable Ruin Beams. To what extent it goes against the rules of the game remains to be seen. I doubt the conductor will sit idly by and let them do as they please. If he is forcing to make a move, things will either end very well or very poorly. As previously stated, Reapers are not allowed to interfere in the game, and yet one of them is currently doing just that. It's possible that her Reaper status will be stripped from her, but where will that leave her once the game is over? Okay, yeah, so this is the day where they decide to work, where Rindo decides to work with Kanon, and where Shoko is giving them hints and interfering in the game. Yeah, basically whatever number that is. So this is day 6 of the second week right here. So, of what the report's talking about. Leader of the Pure Hearts, one Moitoi Anazawa, has gotten himself into a dire predicament. While live and online, he found himself a loyal follower in the proxy. If Moitoi Anazawa is the face of Rager, it would likely have a significant effect on the proxy, though to what extent remains to be seen. Online communications can result in negative or positive outcomes, just the same as face-to-face communications. However, the opposite and anomaly of accompanying digital communication leaves its particularly more substance to misunderstanding. It must have been quite a shock for the proxy to see Moitoi Anazawa's true nature, which was invisible to them online. As predicted, Shoka's Sakurane, has been demoted from Reaper to player as punishment for meddling in the game and directly assisting players. Reapers face very few restrictions on the RNS. They may interact with the RG freely so long as they do not reveal their identities. But should they be demoted, their account is deleted and a separate player account takes its place. Yep, So that's why Swallow, aka Shoka, never replied back to Rindo, is because her account was locked and or deleted. That's why. With her old account deactivated, Shoko Sakura is no longer able to interact with the proxy as his online friend, unless she chose to reveal herself as such. She has aided the proxy via messaging up till now, but with that option no longer available to her, her next course of action is unclear. I still love that. I love that she ended up being Swallow. Like, I honestly didn't. That was the last. Like, I thought Swallow was going to be a completely different person. I never thought like Swallow was like going to end up being someone that we ran into already. The conductor has made his intentions known to the players. Although it would be impossible for him to carry out his goal of destroying Shibuya merely as the conductor, he believes himself to be the executor as well, sent from the higher plane to purify the city. The Pure Hearts have been erased as expected. Only 2 teams remain, discounting the Ruin Bringers. With the Ruin Bringers' true natures revealed, it is likely that the rules will change next game to reflect that the players stand to oppose the Reapers rather than each other. I've detected unique vibes emanating from a certain inanimate object. I found it odd that the old stuffed animals should show up, but as it turns out, it is temporarily housing a disoriented soul. Shinjuku's conductor saved the soul it contains, paying the price with his own erasure. An angel's power is needed to free the captive soul. There is still no sign of the composer, and I am forbidden from meddling in the game. That the executor would be willing to help, considering he most likely trapped it there to begin with. Our only available options are to leave the soul imprisoned or locate someone else with the means to release it. I suspect the original creator of the stuffed animal, a player who managed to return the RG 3 years ago, would be able to assist. How? Yeah. Unfortunately, she is currently absent from Shibuya. The game's rules have changed significantly. Players as well as Reapers or even the conductor may erase their opponents after defeating them. At the same time the rules changed, Shiba made an unforeseen move against Shibuya. An inversion is underway. The noise released by the conductor have destabilized the code of the entire Shibuya region. The lower planes, including UG and RG, are practically unsteady. The code is a set of laws that binds together souls that make up all the existence. Think of it as the screws which hold everything together. Some of Shibuya's screws are loose, and others have been removed altogether, leaving nothing to support the city but its own weight. In other words, Shibuya is on the brink of collapse. The deterioration of the boundary between RG and UG is being hastened by rapidly multiplying noise. If the boundary is lost, the city will be torn apart and purified. There are many in higher plane who believe normal purification has no meaning as it maintains the existing planar framework. However, it is generally agreed that inversions should not be utilized due to the complete loss of character the affected area undergoes as its framework is destroyed and rebuilt. And yet the composer maintains his silence as Shibuya faces the same fate as Shinjuku before him. God damn it, Joshua, you cold-hearted bitch! While Shibuya has undergone drastic changes, Proxy's psychological state is surprisingly stable. This could be interpreted as positive personal growth as he has come to understand the situation he has been placed in, as well as what actions to take in response. Shoko Sakura has joined the Proxy's team. Her extraordinary powers should make her a fine addition. One of the Shinjuku Reapers have been eliminated. I suspect the conductor saw this coming. Angels emit vibes strong enough to alter the minds of those in the lower planes. Reportedly, many Shinjuku Reapers have sensed a change in Shiba Miyakaza's personality over time. I wonder how he will feel about all this after the executor leaves and allows him to return to his former self. Proxy has now used the replay ability 8 times. His pin absorbed the resulting planar distortion and changing appearance with each use. At present, there are no apparent adverse effects. I'm concerned about the physical changes to the Proxy's pin. It may indicate some kind of fundamental difference from the other pins. Perhaps replay isn't a latent ability at all. It is far too powerful and would make much more sense as a gift bestowed upon the Proxy via the pin. Yeah, that probably is the case because I'm 100% certain that Haz is the one that gave him that pin. Player pins were almost certainly made by the executor. As an angel, he would be able to prepare special pins at will. It is unclear when how the Proxy acquired his pin. Logically, it must have been on the day he arrived in UG. All I know for certain is that the several factors influencing the Proxy's fate were in play that day. In any case, to give him such a pin knowing he is the composer's Proxy was either incredibly brave or incredibly insolent. The very views have been erased. This is a major blow to the Proxy's team as Kan Takanabe provided them with vital emotional support. Tetsuya Furusawa's soul is currently the most heavily affected, despite his fundamentally evasiveness and unwillingness to show his true feelings. Once experience leads one to hold a certain belief, it is difficult to alter that mindset. This often leads to bitterness and anguish. I wonder just how much of this bitterness Tetsuya Furusawa will be able to bear facing. The answer may very well depend on the proxy and his teammates. Still, this is no time for idle talk. Proxy's team is the only one left. The conductor is oddly fixated on the team's unstable state. I would go so far as to say he seems more concerned with his enemies than the battle itself. As events unfold, it's not unthinkable that he might join forces with the proxy. When the conductor's plans lay bare, every Reaper, practically the Shibuya Reapers, will be forced to choose a side. Some of them who know what I am occasionally try to contact me, but I cannot respond. Shibuya Reapers will need to grow and adapt if they are to overcome this. My old cafe on Cat Street, the one that served as my base 3 years ago, is always open to them. I hear that some drop by on occasion. Notably, the faint vibes I felt from Shinjuku have returned to their full former strength. Someone is coming. Someone who can help decide Shibuya's fate. Hey, it's Neku! Neku Sakuraba has returned to Shibuya. As I suspected, the vibes I picked up 17 days ago were his. Being the last team stand has provided the Wicked Twisters with a sense of unity. The Daisojo no Bito appears to believe it is his sole responsibility to carry the team. I can't say he was wrong with his actions toward Minamoto, but the fact remains that he most likely would have been erased by the X-Reaper had Neku not arrived. The team has narrowly avoided disaster. Let's hope they can carry on that momentum. Minamoto's force was purely on the planar distortion when he turned to half noise and went berserk. He may not be able to clearly measure the distortions from the UG, but that he can sense them at all is impressive feat. I suspect he is also becoming aware of the distortion within himself, along with the fact that these distortions should be undetected from the UG. Minamoto seems to have come to the same conclusion I have. We place too powerful an ability to be wielded by one from the lower planes. I am beginning to piece together the Executor's plan. One more thing that concerns me is Proxy's soul. Its stagnation has returned to full force just when it seemed it might fully fade away. There must be some cause for this, but the Proxy's fears for Minamoto are uncertainty surrounding his own interactions with Neku. Neku Sakuraba has joined the forces with the Proxy. The composer has sent him from Shibuya into Shinjuku during his purification, presumably to have him handle the situation there and keep him isolated and safe from those who would target him for his abilities. As for the Proxy, his soul remains stagnant. I have yet to identify what exactly is preventing its growth. This would be much simpler if I could sit down and talk with him. After repeated demands, I have finally obtained a report on Shinjuku's purification. On the surface, the game involved on conflict between the Conductor and the Reapers. In actuality, the composer, eager to purify Shinjuku, planned the Executor amongst the Reapers to oppose and take down the Conductor. This explains why the Conductor was erased and the Reapers transferred to a new area. Sugumi Matsune and had her suspicion about the Executor, so he sealed her soul away to be safe. She was once a Reaper, though the Executor removed her status after she aligned herself with her older brother, Shinjuku's Conductor. Oh, Sugumi's brother was Shinjuku's Conductor, huh? In Shinjuku, to lose your Reaper status is to be erased. Knowing he was defeated, Shinjuku's Conductor used the last of his strength to save his sister's soul in a stuffed animal. That stuffed animal belonged to one Shiki Miyazaki. The Shibuya Reaper must have taken it to Shinjuku. As a result, Sugumi Matsutsune became the lone survivor of Shinjuku's purification. Once more a Reaper, but sealed away and closely monitored by the Executor. She acted through no will of her own, as her soul was trapped by the noise. However, she's still able to send messages to her Proxy using her latent trailer ability. The noise binding her is now gone. If damage to her plushy vessel can be fixed, her soul will be free. Shibuya River is known to be a unique place, even amongst the entities in the higher plane. Its source is in Shinjuku, meaning it should have disappeared in the purification, and yet it continues to flow unseen in its own plane. What an excellent idea to hide souls there to spare them from purification. Kaze Tsuchiki loved the game and cared for his compatriots more than any of the other Shinjuku Reapers. His actions leave no room for doubt. Most of the Shinjuku Reapers maintain the close bonds they shared back in Shinjuku. I know not what kind of Reaper Shiba Miyazaki was before being warped by the Executor, but judging by the Shinjuku Reaper's unflinching devotion to him, he must have been extremely charismatic. It is yet unknown if Shiba Miyazaki will be released from the executor's influence at the end of the game. Even if he does manage to return to his former self, he will be forced to face the tragic reality that the loss of his friends is brought about by his own actions. Neku Sakuraba is aware of the proxy's powers. The pin continues to endlessly absorb the genetic distortions. Absorbed, but not destroyed. They are likely being stored for some purpose. I wonder what the composer thinks of all this. There's still no sign of movements from him. Does he have a plan at all? Tomorrow will tell. The player distortion caused by replay were all part of the executor's plan to purify Shibuya. The condition of the proxy and his comrades was taking a sudden turn for the worse. The ability to turn distortion energy into noise is entirely unique. It is likely latent to the executor, either allowing him to create noise or granting him some comparable power. In essence, the distortions were once souls. They manifest from the thoughts and lost time of those whose timelines were cut off from the canonical history. Proxy's pin stores the distortions formed from each abandoned timeline, causing them to behave similarly to their source, thoughts, and birth new distortions. In other words, the pin allows the distortion to grow and multiply with each journey back in time. The birds the proxy saw are new distortions spawned from those stored in the pin, giving an order-compliant and readily stored form. Generally, souls need a catalyst in order to take form. The executor's pin must be the catalyst in this case, generating noise in advance and transplanting the distortions imagination into them. The executor is exponentially adept at handling noise. There is a strong possibility that the noise present bird form is temporary and will change at some point. If its shape is undefined and it's undefined and constantly changed, the proxy and his team have a tough battle ahead of them. Shibuya is in grave danger. Oh, excuse me.
We'll be right back after this. Systematic world killing me. Getting numb really fulfills me. Take me higher, someplace I've never been. I'm about to wake up, let it begin. Watch it burn like a firebird. I'm coming back until the world is yours. The world will be mine. One step closer to the edge. I'm about to
God. Shibuya has received a new visitor, one that even the composer must not have expected. It's the very same individual who drew up the report on Shinjuku's inversion. But why would he come to Shibuya? Probably not to take care of the executor. Whatever business he may have, Tanzo Kubo can wait until after the purification. It seems that Shinjuku's composer, one Hazuki Mikage, has eliminated the executor's noise and given the proxy another chance. I have an idea as to why. Shibuya's composer might be shaking his head right now. I have finally determined what was causing the proxy soul to stagnate, his fear of taking responsibility. When reliable allies such as Minamoto, Beats, and Neku appeared and took the reins, the relief of being free from responsibility filled the proxy's mind. Ironically, it was the famously unsympathetic composer of Shinjuku that led me to this conclusion. Shibuya now owns its continued existence to the proxy's use of replay to undo its destruction. It's up to the proxy to decide whether or not to turn back time. He undeniably has the right. Shibuya has withstood destruction, but now stands to face an even greater danger. The challenge before us is one we cannot refuse. Proxy's team faced a giant bird-shaped noise. It was reborn from the unstable black bird noise, which were destroyed at the order level and reassembled. This is a clear act of interference by Shinjuku's composer. It allows the proxy and his team to focus on all their efforts on one target. Each feather of the phoenix's tail is a chramic representation of a single temporal reversal. Perhaps this is a manifestation of Shinjuku's composer's internal conflict. He has clearly taken an interest in the proxy and his teammates. He has desired to see Shibuya purified and changed. I believe that his interference dealing with the executor, contacting the proxy and meddling with the distortions was more than a simple apology to Shibuya. It provided a perfect excuse for Shibuya's composer to make a direct move of his own. However, Shibuya's composer failed to take the bait, remaining inactive in the very end. His reason for appearing to Neku Sakuraba and the others as they connected to Shibuya's imagination was not to help them, but merely to stabilize Neku Sakuraba's mind by reminding him he was there. A look over the vibes recorded by the RNS reveals no evidence of an outside interference. Proxy's team defeated the Phoenix Cantonist through their own and Shibuya's strength. Oh boy. Last one. Now that the game is over, I finally have permission to conduct the composer. Several days have passed since then, and the composer has already completed 2 orders of business. One of them concerns Neku Sakuraba. Using a sample of a parallel world, one where Neku never went to Shinjuku and instead lived peacefully in the RG for 3 years, the composer modified the space and memories around Neku so that he may once again reside in the RG without issues. This is not particularly unusual, as the same steps must be taken when returning a Reaper to the RG. The other order of business concerns Shoka. I knew it. Her Reaper status lost, her destruction at the end of the game was all but assured. However, the composer saved her soul at the precise moment it diffused for deletion. She has been reborn in the RG in Shibuya. I believe this is a rare expression of gratitude on the composer's part. Gratitude to the Proxy, that is. Proxy has also returned safely to life in his RG. Through him, I have learned much about the network as a stimulant plane of existence, as well as its effects on human motion. There's no denying its use as a tool to expand one's world. However, it is up to the user to explore and express that expanded world for themselves. At least it will remain a mere simulation. Enjoy the present and keep moving forward. Perhaps by refusing to interfere, the composer meant to convey to Shibuya the importance of acting, accepting your circumstances, taking your action yourself. I have one final note dictated at the Proxy, Rindo Kanade. The decision you made took courage, and I thank you for it. I sincerely hope we can meet in person someday. Woo! God damn. Mr. H, you are a scholar, scholar and a gentleman, and I thank you for it. Oh boy, okay, so I have basically 23 clothes left. I have quite a bit of pins left, so I can't find this one last book. I'm definitely gonna look that up. Alright guys, what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna cut to the new ending that's gonna happen on another day here. I'm gonna cut to that, and then I will also cut to the secret ending that's gonna happen when I go beat the game again. Alright, so I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Okay, so I was like, how the hell do I get the secret ending for this? There was one, so in order to get the secret ending for this, for another day, you need to do 4 things. You need to beat all the pig noise, which I did that off screen. Just want to make 100% sure that I did do that. Yep, all pig noises have been beaten. Gotta complete Rhymes Dive, which is what we did. And obviously you need to beat the secret boss, Fidel Santos, which we did. And we need to do Coco's thing. So Coco has the time trial thing. So let's see what that does, and then we'll get the secret ending. There's something seriously strong noise overhead. Keep going? Okay, sure. Huh? Coco? Yo, something ain't right about her. It's giving me the creeps. Now. Rest in peace. Sleep. What's she saying? Dream of dreams within dreams within dreams. And find peace there, never to wake. Oh gosh, she's talking about dream drop distance. So sleepy. But I gotta stay awake. I can't. The final time trial awaits. Win a series of boss battles as fast as you can. A record of your best time will be posted in the chapter's rest section of the records menu. And if you're in the mood for overachieving, win again on higher difficulty or with a fast time to wipe your old record off the map. Okay, I think I'm still on easy, so this honestly shouldn't be too bad.
Peace.
I might just end up cutting this out, so, but we'll see.
The battle yet rages. You're done for.
Gotcha.
I got you.
Pig, nice one.
Got him.
No stopping us now.
Got him.
That was pretty sick.
Boom. This is actually pretty fun. God.
Get wrecked.
They mustn't give up. Not yet.
Oh fuck! I lost my roof too. Shit. Oh, I guess we're only going to Shiba. Okay. I should be fine with this deck. Again, I am on easy, so. Oh fuck! The health carry's over. I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Just doing my job.
That was perfect.
Got him. That one took a while. Oh, we do. Okay, we do face the Phoenix.
Blow you away. Oh no. This can't be.
All right, here we go. Last fight.
Bring your pain, yo.
Ranger.
Oh yeah, we win!
Damn, guess I ain't on my game today.
There we go. I got some good shit, yo. 103. Okay, got a new pin. Didn't think I'd get a new pin. Got down, prove it. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna just cut all those out. Huh? Was that? Did I dream all that? Rindo, are you alright? Coco was emitting some kind of hallucinogenic field and we got caught up in it. Hmm? Where am I? What happened? Oh. Don't worry, it's over now. Neku, what a happy coincidence meeting you here. Oh goodness me, I'm almost late for the big sale. I'd best be off, toodaloo. So we didn't actually fight her? That was just a dream? Did you notice it too? After the battle, that weird black stuff around Coco disappeared. Huh? Really? I didn't see anything. You didn't? Interesting.
Lord Rindo.
Lord Rindo, we must continue onward, lest our romp be cut short. That's right, we have to go. Should have ignored the remainder. But at least I got to collect some significant data. Tomanoi's Blade. Apparently a character in some game called Elevated Stratosphere uses this. It's the same as an old replica sword, honestly, but countless crazy fangirls have handed over their hard-earned yen for these. Guess bad boys will always be popular to the ladies. Here, what does that do? No mercy. Slightly increases attack when facing a single enemy. Okay. I mean, it's not that great.
Let's move.
Alright, I will see you guys when we get to the secret ending of this. Alright, here we go. Here's the secret ending for another day. After you take care of all the pig noise, you take care of Rhyme, you do Coco's time trial thing, and you beat the secret boss. So, yeah, here we go. Finally took out the garbage. I'm back to my true value. Took me long enough. I was a fraction of a femtometer away from getting reduced to 0. But I made it, and I've run all the numbers. Shibuya's full of surprises. A soul that grows in power even after it gets erased. You beat your box plot, I want in on that. I'm coming for you, composer. Crunch! Alrighty. Ah, this is so sweet. This is sweet. I really like this art. This is so sweet. Got the thumbnail right here. Yep. Finally! I'm finally gonna have Beat and Neku in a thumbnail, guys. If you haven't noticed, I've literally done my best to not have them be in a thumbnail at all. Because I did not want this to be spoiled at all. But this being the final video, I think it'll be fine. So we got one more secret ending to watch, guys. So see you guys then.
A bit
All right,
late
everyone.
to come groveling back, wouldn't you say, friend?
Here's our ending. Here's the ending that you get if you get all the secret reports and beat the last chapter again.
My apologies, friend. I never intended Shibuya any harm. But rest assured that as Shinjuku's composer,
Yep, knew you were composer.
I have
for
personally
Shinjuku.
eliminated the cause of the problem. Is that enough to earn your forgiveness?
I appreciate you exercising the executor from the UG. But you really ought to be more scrupulous when engaging with the lower planes.
Oh, like you
Nobody
are, Joshua.
likes a mess maker.
And all this time, I thought I was following in your footsteps.
Then you might need to watch where you're walking. Speaking of which, I saw you took a stroll around the city. Did you and Rindo have an illuminating conversation?
Not at all.
Weren't you watching?
Only a little.
I offered him an apology and asked him a few questions.
What about?
I thought he might understand why you opposed Shibuya's cleansing. So I asked what he thought about the city, hoping to glean some insight.
Another mess finally made. And was it insightful?
Not to the extent I would have liked. I still don't understand. Humans are the most irrational beings. That said, I was a bit surprised myself with how our conversation ended. For some reason, the boy was ready to risk everything for an unproven possibility,
Yep.
and all I could do was remind him to take responsibility for whatever decision he made. Almost as if I were encouraging him to take that risk.
Sounds like you acted a bit irrationally yourself.
I did indeed.
Yeah, he sure did.
Even entrusted him with that powerful pin, if you can believe it.
Yep. There we go. Now, I'm sure this could mean, like, at the end of that conversation, but I'm pretty sure this means at the beginning of the game.
Well, you aren't alone. I too have fallen victim to that irrationality before.
Yeah, you have.
Why do you think that is?
I can't say for sure, but one thing I've noticed is that every time I watch them try to overcome the absurdity of their world, I just can't help but hope they succeed.
I really love this contrast between them. Joshua with the blue, him and, like, that pink. It's so good. Yo! Yo, I like that. I like that a lot. Aw, this is a nice thing right here. They're all hanging out with the slushies. That's so cute. Yeah, I think we just found our thumbnail, guys. I think I found the thumbnail for this video. Oh, this is so good. So good. All right. So, yeah. Well, guys, that is going to do it for Neo, The World Ends With You. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this entire playthrough from start to finish, because, boy, how I've enjoyed playing it from start to finish as well. And this game is fantastic. What more can I say that I haven't already said about this game during the credits? I love this game. This game's probably like a perfect 9 out of 10 for me, at most, or at the least. I love the characters, love the combat. That's probably why it's at 9 is because the combat took me some time to really learn it, but I really, really learned it when I was like replaying through the games and such, or replaying through the days. The diving stuff was fun. All the new mechanics that they add in here that are changed from the first game, I loved it a lot. Getting 100% in this game is going to be a tough bitch. Mostly because you need to... Well, you don't even have to get 100% in everything to get the platinum. You just need to get the noise to be at 80% in order to get the platinum. So that's good. But I think I was only missing like a couple of the pin drops for Ultimate in the first game on the Switch. I think I actually did get all the pin drops on the DS version. I can't remember. I'm actually surprised. Like when the Switch version came out and when I was done with that Let's Play, I actually did go back into the DS version just to see how I did in that game, and I think I surprisingly did get everything on there. I think the only thing I didn't get was the final, like the secret boss pin drops. I think that might be the only thing that I don't have. I can't remember, but yeah, the music, of course, is top notch as always. I love the art style of this game. I loved how the cutscenes play out as like a comic strip type thing rather than, you know, just them standing there like they did in the DS and the Switch game of the first game. I loved it. This game was phenomenal, and the story blew me out of the water. Of course, I freaking love Rindo and Shoka, like, together. Like, those two are, like, come on. Come on. Like, how could you not ship those two? Literally, like, kind of, like, just watching them in the opening alone is like, okay, gotta ship these two, and then as you progress through the weeks, you kind of get the whole, like, oh, like, you definitely tell by Rindo, like, he didn't really like her. I wonder if she must have known, because, you know, Rindo, she must have known that Rindo was the person she was talking to on Fango from, like, ever since, like, she first met him during the first day. So, I still love that, too, of Shoka being revealed as Swallow. I love that a lot, but yeah. So, yeah, guys, thank you for watching this series. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys actually enjoyed if you guys played this game, I hope you enjoyed it too, because this game's phenomenal. It's still my #1 game of the year so far. I don't know, like I said, I think the only game that's going to beat it is Shin Megami Tensei 5. So what's next? Well, I mentioned this during the end of Final Fantasy X. I am going to go back into Avengers. We will do the War for Wakanda stuff. And Spider-Man is actually going to be coming out sometime later for Avengers, and that'll probably be the last time I touch Avengers is the Spider-Man stuff, because I'm starting getting a little tired of Avengers here. Not that it's a bad game, but it's like the story is fine, but then everything else afterwards of it is just ugh. So we'll be going to the Avengers, and then probably at the end of Avengers, we might start either Lost Judgment or Kenna the Bridge of Spirits, because those games should be coming out shortly. I honestly don't know. Whatever day this video comes out, and of course how long it takes me to do War of Wakanda stuff. And of course we have Wonderful 101, which honestly shouldn't take too much longer to beat. I'm about halfway done almost. So, and if I keep going at the pace I've been somewhat going, it shouldn't hopefully take too long. So yeah. So thank you all so much again for watching. Guys, if you liked the video, please give that like button a click and comment down below what you like about the video, didn't like about the video, and let me know what you guys think about this whole game as a whole. Everything about it. The story, that secret ending that we just saw, everything, let me know. And as always, guys, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a beat, and subscribe to the main channel too, that's in the description below. As well as follow me on Twitter, both my main Twitter, the RBG, Kim Kid Twitter are in there too. Thank you all so much for watching once again, and I'll see you all in the next Let's Play. Bye.